53% of Americans say that buying groceries is a major stressor. So let's get right into today's video.
At the South Loop grocery store, sticker shock and frustration.
No matter if it's organic or if it's regular, it's still going to be an arm and a leg for it. It's like you're spending your soul on groceries.
Tria Hudson of South Shore says regardless of the store, prices continue to rise.
We have sweet butters that used to be about $1.99 and this is now $3.29. Eggs went down, but everything else went up. You know, this is sad.
Bread costs us $4 and it looks like it's getting smaller. Yes.
Hope that everybody is doing great today. We are going to talk about groceries and the prices and how it's affecting people, because right now people are just struggling to put food on the table and pay for basic everyday necessities.
How are y'all affording to live out here? Like, genuinely, how do you afford it? My husband and I just got married, so we're in the process of like switching everything over and getting our own stuff. And we literally can't afford it, like simply. We just got a quote for our car insurance and it's $220 a month for the cheapest thing that we could find. On top of our student loans, our rent, our groceries, our electricity, you know, all the other bills. The next thing that we have to do is get new phone bills because, you know, we're married and we got to get off our parents. We might be getting flip phones. Like, I literally don't. How are we going to afford it? We can't afford. We cannot afford all this stuff. Like, we both have full-time jobs. We can't. How are y'all affording to live? We're trying to find side hustles. We have Instacart and DoorDash. I'm very overwhelmed. Adulting sucks. Adulting is a scam. You work until you die. You still can't afford to live. Somebody needs to come up with a better system.
We are in the year 2025 and people should not be having a hard time just buying everyday necessities, basic household necessity, personal hygiene items, and food, as well as just being able to keep a roof over their head. Yet that is what is happening. Walmart actually is raising prices on customers and customers are furious about it. As you know, over the last few months, tariffs have been impacting a lot of places, a lot of corporations and things of that nature. Walmart earlier in the summer said that they will not pass that price along to the consumer. We already knew that was going to be a thing anyways. Even though they said it wouldn't be, we already knew that we would be impacted by tariff prices. No matter what, they were going to raise the price regardless, because at the end of the day, they are a corporation. And then we're also going to put in corporate greed on top of that. Walmart actually has been doing pretty well. And I think the last 2 quarters, they've done exceedingly well, yet the prices and what they're doing to consumers is affecting people. If you've been on social media anytime recently, you have seen where Walmart is actually transitioning away from some of their price tags. So if you go there and you find a pair of shorts or a shirt, you know, normally it has the barcode as well as the price tag, where they are tearing that off. And then when you go to the register to pay for it, sometimes it's going to reflect a different price than even what was posted. Like, say they have a sign posted for $25. Well, they don't have the price tag on the shorts, but you're assuming it's $25. Yet you get to the register and that same pair of shorts, so that shirt is now $28. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that $3 isn't a lot, but in all actuality, it is, especially if you have, say, 10 customers and it happens to 10 customers. That's $3 extra, and that puts more money into the company's pocket. So a lot of people think that Walmart is currently gaslighting customers, and I would probably agree with that.
Now they've done it. Walmart just jacked up their prices, and I have the list right over here. Some everyday essentials up 50% almost overnight. The company is blaming President Trump's tariffs. Let's break it down for you right here. CNBC tracked the prices of the same items on May 20th and then on July 7th, same items. A 12-piece pot and pan set from Drew Barrymore's line used to be $99. Now $149. That's a 51% price jump. A Graco stroller went from $199 up to $299. That's another 50% spike since May. Even basic kitchen stuff like a nonstick fry pan up 28%. Coffee, bad news there. Folgers Classic Roast is up 17%. Dunkin', depending on the size, up to 9 and 11%. Milk too. The cheap store brand, Great Value, up across the board. Whole milk, 2%, 1% milk, all cost more. Even men's jeans, Levi's Signature, ticked up. This is the time to go bulk grocery shop on anything you can store or freeze. This is going to get worse before it gets better.
And I also think that not only are we seeing an increase in prices overall, and they're doing these sketchy things as far as removing tags, and the newest thing, another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the digital barcodes. They're adding that. And I think that is just a shady practice, because if I pick up a banana or say pack of oranges that's displaying $3.99, I expect them to be $3.99 when I get to the register, no matter if I get to the register in 10 minutes or an hour. But yet, if I get to the register like 5 minutes from the time I pick that up, it can easily have gone up to $4.10. And depending on when you're shopping can impact what the barcode prices look like. And that's something that they're probably not going to tell you. But say we are coming up on holiday seasons. If a toy is $10, if they know it's a high demand item and they might not have as much inventory, well, they will probably take that $10 item and change it to a $30 item. So again, that can be a shady practice, as well as shopping times. If, they have slower crowds in the morning, they might have it at $5. So you have people getting off work between that 4 and 6 p.m. time frame. They know that there's an uptick in, customer shopping around that time. Well, that same item that costs $5 that morning might very well be $6 in the evening. I, as just like a regular person out in the community, noticed that, on Thursdays, it seems to be more traffic in my area and people are heading to the store. So if I'm just noticing this as a consumer, imagine what stores are doing when they could see like an uptick in sales, on certain days and certain times. They're going to use that to their advantage. So what we can do to save money is, one thing, shop sales. Shop your sales and shop multiple stores. Personally, I feel like the days of just shopping one store are very much over. In fact, I typically shop anywhere from 3 to 5 stores on a weekly basis just to save money and get the best bang for my buck. Also, make sure that you are shopping the weekly sales, the store flyers. Most of the time it comes out on Wednesday, goes through Tuesday, and you're going to get the best sale prices. You're going to be able to get the buy one, get ones. And again, if you have a pantry, if you have not started food storage and like a rotating pantry and a long-term pantry, I would highly recommend that you do so, because this can also offset some of the costs as well as change the way you shop. Also, be willing to shop clearance and markdown items. I remember that there was a time where people would turn up their nose. I have known people personally that would turn up their nose at a clearance rack in a minute. And I'm like, point me to the clearance rack first and then I'll shop the rest of the store. Because I know that you can find some gems like in the clearance section. Don't get me wrong, clearance has changed a lot. The deals are not great deals anymore. Like, you can still find them, but they're few and far between. Even from Walmart, opposed to even like back in 2022, 2021, I found really good deals on a lot of things across the board. Nowadays, they might have an item that's originally priced $10.97 and they'll clearance it out and it'll be $9.97. Like $1 taken off $1 to me is not a deal, but that's just my personal opinion. Also, don't be afraid to buy generic items. I'll say that while also saying make sure you're checking prices, because nowadays where generic used to overall just be cheap, sometimes those generic prices are, much more expensive or more expensive than name brand items. So again, make sure you're doing your price matching, price comparisons, and things like that to make sure that you're able to stretch your money. Also, to save money and stay within a budget, I would highly recommend that you consider taking cash or withdrawing cash from the bank, ATM, whatever, over just relying on your card or even on Apple Pay. I know personally I have an issue when it comes to spending. I told you guys this before. I am the spender in our marriage. My husband is the saver, so we balance each other out. But I really feel like it helps me if I have cash versus a card. Like, I can have a $200 budget in my mind for the card, but if I get in the store, I'm more than likely willing to impulse buy and just buy extra of something, rather than if I were to take that same $200 in cash, have a mindset, okay, this is all the money I have to make it work. This is something that you definitely want to take into account if you have a hard time controlling like those impulse buys and things like that. I would highly recommend utilizing cash and cash only. One last thing in closing, what's one of the biggest things that frustrates you about what's going on today? One thing that gets me with the store prices, and I'm sure it gets you as well, so let me know below down in the comments. Not only is the price of items continuing to rise, but the packages are continuing to shrink, or they're removing, say a pack of hot dogs used to have 6 and now they're down to 4. But the quality overall of our food has diminished as well. Let me know how you feel about Walmart and their prices, and just, are you seeing grocery store prices increase and drastically increase in your area, or prices, you know, remaining about the same? Are you seeing any shortages or gaps in your store shelves as well? But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.